So James Gunn actually responded to a lot of the rumors that have been floating around about the DCEU. This is kind of one thing that I like about him, is that he'll come out and verify things a little bit. He said basically that some of it's true, some of it's not true, and some of it we're not sure if it's true yet. Basically means a lot of the stuff in that Hollywood Reporter article that dropped the other day is true, though they're not certain how much of it is going to end up coming true. Basically stuff like, for example, Henry Cavill getting a Superman movie. They're not sure if they want to go forward with that now, probably because of the performance of Black Adam. That could have something to do with it. I don't know. I think they're trying to figure out what they want to do. I mean, obviously that's what they're doing, trying to figure out the next 10 years of whatever the DCEU is going to be. So, I mean, I think that that's fair. They need to do something. And I think actually James Gunn makes some pretty creative stuff. I guess we'll see. One thing that is true is Wonder Woman 3 is done. Wonder Woman 3 is over. We don't know if Gal Gadot is coming back. The report is that she was on the hook for making, or she had Warner on the hook for $20 million for part 3. That's a lot of money. Is she necessarily worth $20 million? I don't know. I think she looks good as Wonder Woman, but that's a lot of money. I mean, that's up there. That's getting up there with like Robert Downey Jr. money. Now, he made a lot more. I think he was making like $100 million a movie. But let's look at the difference in popularity when it comes to the DCEU and Marvel. I mean, I wouldn't even pay. Maybe I'll get some bad comments for this, and I like Henry Cavill as Superman, but I wouldn't even pay him $100 million to come back as Superman. That's more than the movie would probably make in the theaters, you know. Well, it's a significant portion of what it will make. Let me take that back, because there's no guarantee that that movie will make money. I think it will if you do a good one and you put together good marketing and you actually make a good Superman movie with him in it. I think it'll do very well. But I think the funny thing here is the story that's coming out about Patty Jenkins and how she actually walked away from Wonder Woman 3. She actually turned into quite the crybaby, if this is all true. I want to put that out there. This could be fake. Like, we don't know. And maybe James Gunn will respond to this. There's always that possibility, but at least the Daily Mail is saying, revealed, Wonder Woman 3 was axed by Warner Brothers after director Patty Jenkins rejected studio notes and walked off the highly anticipated Gal Gadot project. Patty Jenkins is said to have exited Wonder Woman 3 after rejecting studio notes. Jenkins' treatment, which she reportedly turned in last week, was not well received by Warner Brothers executives. She was asked to rework it, but it was claimed that she refused to abandon her vision. Unable to compromise, Jenkins walked off the project, and Warner Brothers canceled the sequel. Jenkins helmed the first two Wonder Woman films starring Gal Gadot. Now, there's actually a little bit more to this, so I'm going to go into it, but let me start off by saying Wonder Woman 2 sucked. Not a very good movie, nowhere near as good as the first one. And the first one, she had Zack Snyder to help her out quite a bit. I think he actually helped write that script. The second one was all her. There's no Zack Snyder influence. It was all Patty. Which makes me think, honestly, that the third one was probably just as shitty. Now, critics actually got this one right, 58%. The audience score is actually higher than I thought it would be. I actually thought that would have been in the 60s, but it's in the low 70s. I don't think this movie is very good. I think it's a really bad movie in a lot of ways. The one saving grace that it has is Gal Gadot's chemistry with Chris Pine. They actually were really good together in this film. In fact, some of their scenes together were actually really, really fun to watch. But that's really about it. The movie was a mess, a big mess. They tried to fit in like a Trump thing and a bunch of nonsense, and it lost a lot of money. Now, you can blame some of that on them putting it on HBO Max and in theaters at the same time. There was also the coof, but the movie hasn't aged very well. The first one, I think, is still pretty rewatchable. I like the first one. But anyway, the allegations of how she walked off of the set or walked off of Warner's lot over this movie is really funny. Because she kind of sounds like a big baby here. So basically, there's a lot of drama behind this. So this was before Gunn came in, I think. You have Warner Brothers Film Group co-chairpersons and CEOs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Adby were cited as the ones who rejected her treatment and did not plan to move forward with the film in its current iteration. It's also claimed that the studio's new CEO, James Gunn, and Peter Safran agreed that Jenkins' version of the film didn't work, so they didn't like it. Multiple people didn't like it. So maybe it's not your vision. Maybe your vision, or maybe it's not that they don't understand your vision. Maybe it's just your vision sucks. I'm surprised, honestly, that she got the ability to make a third one because of the disaster behind the second one. The second one is not very good. So it was communicated to her that they would be willing to move the sequel in a different direction. They wanted to know, would she be willing to, retool what she has to do? And she didn't want to retool it. She said no. She told them that they were wrong and they didn't understand her. They didn't understand the character. They didn't understand character arcs, and they didn't understand what Jenkins was trying to do, an insider claimed. She refused to rewrite anything. And they even gave her a chance. The studio allegedly gave Jenkins another chance to pitch a different direction for Wonder Woman, but once again, she refused. Since they had no plans to use her sequel treatment, Jenkins decided to walk away and move on to her next film project. It was claimed that Jenkins had no interest in hearing CEO Gunn and Safran's input, though they were reportedly uninvolved in the situation. So they were willing to give her input, and then she's like, no, don't mansplain to me. I don't need your vision. I don't need your comments. Wouldn't you want to at least listen to what James Gunn had to say? No matter how you feel about the man. He took Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a nothing Marvel property, and made it one of their biggest. I think he did a pretty damn good job with Suicide Squad. I even liked his Peacemaker television series on HBO Max. Like, wouldn't you want to at least listen to what he had to say? Obviously, the man is like batting 3-0 right now, about to be 4-0 if the third Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I forgot about even the holiday special was pretty fun. And that dude shot that over a weekend. You wouldn't at least want to listen to what he had to say? It's kind of rude. So she's also been booted off of that Star Wars movie. Don't forget about that. I don't think she's involved in that anymore. So it seems like she's hard to work with. Now, I'll give a little bit of leeway on the Star Wars thing because from what I hear, it's Kathleen Kennedy's way or the highway. So maybe, I would have said maybe if it was just that situation, I would have said, well, she just didn't want to deal with KK. But now this is two different studios. Lucasfilm and now Warner, unwilling to compromise, unwilling to make changes, and walking away without even listening to what anyone has to say. Like, Gunn could have said, I think this is good, but maybe change this, this, and this, and, we can work with you. She's unwilling to compromise. So now she's walking away from an iconic character because she wanted to be a big crybaby about it, basically. It's kind of funny to me. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and my locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.